It's the Benz Brunani womanist. Baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. Sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hard time scrolling for your long throats. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.
Back in the house. Back in the house with some shit for your mouth. Oh, I'm getting so, I feel like my time off, I've gotten really bad at my rapping. I need to like get back up, pick up the levels again. Next week, I'm going to come with fire. I'm going to come with flames. Watch me. It's going to be a whole fire in the booth. What? Watch. Anyway, hello, my patrons. I've missed you all. In my time away. I hope you're all well. I feel like this specific message that I had from the bottom of the deck from the tarot card this week, again, is for one of you or maybe a couple of you or a few of you specifically. So we've spoken about in the main content that as a dancer, you have a specific rhythm that nobody else can replicate. It's all about you doing what you're doing, living your best life. And that was confirmed by the fact that I've got the juice, I've got the sauce, as the affirmation card from the Say Your Mind deck. Again, reminding you that there's nobody else like you in this world and you should revel in that rather than comparing yourself to other people. And the sun is out helping all of the things in your life that you care about, that you've planted, the seeds you've planted. The sun is out to help them grow. They are growing, so stop looking at other people's gardens. And the reason I say stop looking at other people's gardens is because for some of you, because you keep looking at other people's gardens, you're disregarding all of the things that can bring you happiness. And that's why we've got the Four of Cups here. And this came up for me yesterday when I was doing a reading and asking, you know, for advice and some guidance from my dad. And this Four of Cups came up for me as well. Kind of, for me, though, it signified the fact that I'm so disappointed in a lot of institutions at the moment that I was planting seeds with, hoping that things would grow and flourish. But suddenly they started moving mad, being like, you know, some bosses are a bit worried about the views that you've expressed in the past, but these times you can all work with Alan Sugar when he's saying the wildest, the maddest things. You can all tolerate that. But suddenly when it's me, you want to put everything through a fine-tooth comb. So this was me kind of moving those cups out of the way, sort of being like, you know what, fuck you. I don't need to work with any of you. My come up is going to happen either way. I'm going to blow either way. C4 up in this bitch. So it's fine. You don't have to work with me. But what I don't appreciate is keeping me on hold for months on end, pretty much a year, saying to me, oh, we're almost about to book the ticket. We're almost about to do this. We're almost about to do that. And none of it ever fucking happens. So this is, for me, was me moving them out of the way, moving those cups out of the way, being like, I'm not even interested now. I'm just going to continue doing me. But this card always speaks to you doing something from a very sulky perspective, like you're doing it because you're sulking, because you're upset, because there's still cups. There's still parts of you that need to be filled. In that, I still want to do this project. I still want to get this story out there. I still want to do all of these wonderful things. So why move the cups out of the way? Why? Because you haven't seen the things that you want come to fruition yet. Why are you moving mad and then literally moving the rest of your blessings out of the way? Yeah, fine, okay. Even if I don't work with these people, my idea is still valid. I can still work around things in some way. And I think ultimately, and I heard this on the Jesus and Jollof podcast, that sometimes you might be ready for your blessings, but the optimal time for the manifestation of your blessings have not yet arrived. They're literally still under the surface like this potato. The sun is still shining on them. God's love and mercy is still shining on them, but it's just not time for them to sprout yet. So you're now getting vexed because they haven't sprouted and you're moving everything out of the way like, well, I don't give a shit. I didn't care anyway. I didn't want to do that anyway. Fuck these hoes, man. Fuck these bitches. No. Use the sun of gratitude to bring light to all the other things that you could be working on. There are other things that you've planted that you could go and water, that you can go and shine some light on, that you can go and show some love to. You don't now need to dash everything out because, oh, the things aren't going the way that you want them to. Sometimes be glad that life didn't go the way you wanted it to, because we're merely human. And I always speak about the fact that we're divine beings, but a lot of the time we operate from a very human space. So therefore, the things that we want will only bring us instant gratification. Be glad that the things didn't go the way that you wanted them to, because your life would not be as blessed as it is now and as blessed as it could be. So in all things, I just try to give thanks when I'm praying, to just be like, you know what? It is what it is. I know that I'm out here doing bits and doing bobs at the right time. Things will be, you know, things will be as they need to be. And that was just a reminder that if you're moving other things out of the way, or you're sulking basically because things haven't gone the way that you want them to go, because they're not showing the results as quickly as you want them to show, use those cups and water your fucking plants. Like, use those cups, fill them with water of spirituality and faith, and water the things and trust that they will grow. The sun of gratitude, water of spirituality, of faith and endurance and perseverance. Use the two together so this can grow. Yeah, so you can have the sustenance and nourishment that you truly need. So that's the message, and I think it's specifically for someone on Patreon. It's always you guys on Patreon that like to move exquisitely mad. Like, you have just this knack for doing extra. So I have to come in here and be like, fam, wagwan. But yeah, or what I'm to you. Yeah, I like that one as well. Oh, I love patois. Anyway, let's move on. I've got a letter from my baby girl, Layla, that says, "Hi, Kelechi. I'm really sad that the podcast is coming to an end, but I'm so grateful for everything that you've done so far. Keep on doing bits, as I know you will, and I'll keep buying everything and attending everything, of course." Thank you. I've been meaning to write this all out for months, but since you mentioned on your podcast that you can submit something to So You Mad and Straw of the Week, I had an epiphany of clarity and I knew I should share this. This is going to be a long one, sorry. Last year, me and my partner, F, a 5'3" woman, white woman, who some would say dresses more masculine off center. I disagree with these kind of categorizations of her appearance, but for the purposes of painting a picture of what she looks like, I've described her as such. Went to a party hosted by a black woman and former friend, let's call her Leah for the purposes of this story. When we arrived at our other ex-friend and white woman, let's call her Janie, When we arrived, our other ex-friend and white woman, let's call her Janie, was unconscious. A random 6-foot white guy called Hayden, actual name, we had never seen or heard of before, entered the room and asked us all to leave so that he could be alone with Janie. Skirt? What? Of course, we said no. F, in particular, told him about himself. Later on, Hayden cornered F and threatened her. He said she needed to watch her back and watch her personality because she made him angry. We later found out from another friend that Hayden had been touching Janie and trying to be alone with unconscious Janie all evening. When Janie finally came round, her anger was directed at me and F for embarrassing her, and it took a long time for us to talk properly again. Fast forward to this new year, Janie hosted a New Year's Eve party at her house. She was aware of Hayden's violent misogynistic tendencies, but still invited him anyway, essentially setting F up as bait. She had also previously been asked not to invite him. Hayden approached F on New Year and started threatening her and getting aggressive again, saying he could do what he liked to any girl, but he hadn't that night because he's a nice guy, and told F to apologize to him for making him angry. I straight punched him in the mouth. Well done. I'm so proud of you. You're doing great, sweetie. Well done. I'm so proud of you. Well done. Anyway, I straight punched him in the mouth. Janie entered the room and witnessed Hayden grabbing F's clothes, shouting, "You can't speak to me like that. My dad's in hospital." He clearly felt comfortable inflicting violence on F because of the way she looks. So despite me punching him, his violence was directed at her. Obviously, after that, I got him good. Janie told me and F to leave the room and then hugged Hayden and told him she knows he hasn't done anything wrong and none of this is his fault. She then ignored me and F and then even stepped over F, who was traumatized and sobbing on the staircase several times, and even stepped on her in heels to get in and out of the room. We immediately left the party. I waited for an explanation and an apology the next day, but nothing came. So instead, around 2 p.m., I sent Janie a 12 bullet point list of why she is problematic and I can no longer be her friend. In response, she gave her mother her phone and her mother sent a racist WhatsApp message to a group chat with my friends, which described my behavior as an onslaught against her daughter. The most painful part of this situation is the way our friends, Leah, black woman, and Lottie, white woman, treated me from then on. Knowing we left the party in tears, Leah and Lottie failed to contact me and F to see if we were okay. Instead, I received a message from Lottie basically skimming over any concern for me and pointing out that her biggest concern is her friend Janie has now lost, and that she feels sorry for Janie. There was no message from Leah. I messaged Leah 3 question marks because I was in shock over the fact that whenever anything is even slightly wrong with her, I drop everything and run to her. But this happened and I get thin air. She gave some half-assed excuse that she didn't know. Definitely a lie because the whole party knew. After conversing with Leah and Lottie after some time had passed and the trauma was not so raw, I told them that I would not attend our planned group holiday if Janie was there because I did not feel safe being around someone who had since actually stated that they would not apologize for their behavior and had refused to take accountability for their actions. At this point, I was unaware about the racist WhatsApp her mother had sent because, trust me, I would have handled it differently. I was then assured she wasn't coming. Janie had told all mutual friends that she wasn't. I was about to book my tickets and even told the whole group that I'd booked them. As far as Janie, Leah and Lottie knew, I'd already booked my flights. Leah and Lottie then went behind my back and convinced Janie to come. When I found out, I felt so betrayed. I told them I was no longer coming, and because of this, they cut me off. Leah blocked me and they all went on a group holiday without me. Lottie has a baby, and one ex-friend's white woman's excuse for Lottie's failure to respect my boundaries was that Lottie has other things to worry about, like her baby. This to me translates into black queer lives and other marginalized, endangered lives do not matter to the likes of this group of friends. The boundaries of vulnerable people are clearly unimportant to them, and that's why they found it so easy to dismiss, disrespect, and disregard my needs and feelings. The way I have been treated by the people I once considered my closest friends of 9 years has been heartbreaking. The aftermath of the new year was traumatic for both me and F. The stress almost hospitalized F, and all I heard from this group of friends was how concerned they were about Janie and how they could not abandon her. There was never any sign of any real compassion or concern for me or F. In June, they all went on the holiday and not one person out of the 11 that went checked in on my mental health before, during or after. I haven't had a conversation with them in several months now. It's clear as day to me that in this situation, despite Janie's vile and violent actions, she's the victim to them. They see me, a black woman, as an aggressor, and my feelings are unimportant. One positive out of all of this, though, was that despite the other black women of the group not having my back, my friend Alma showed me so much solidarity, and week after week we listened to the SYM podcast and the tarot, and your advice spoke to us and guided us through this situation, strengthening our friendship. Janie is like most white women, constantly weaponizes her white tears in order to inflict violence on black women and gets away with it because black women like Leah and other white women like Lottie enable her violent behavior as they continue to be ignorant about the intersex of race, misogyny, homophobia, and the multiplicity of different forms racism takes. Recently, when me and F were discussing the whole situation, she said something that really stuck with me. She said, ignorance is not a victimless crime. When I think of Leah, Lottie, and all of the others who have not spoken out about this blatant misogynoir and abuse of queer people and the harm that they have caused and the accountability they have failed to take, I cannot empathize with their ignorance because this type of ignorance remains violent and oppressive. So for this week's So You Mad, I nominate Lottie, Leah, and Janie, the triangle/triad of triad of madness. Love to you always, Layla. Thank you, Layla, love. I'm so sorry that you and F had to experience that. You're both such wonderful, beautiful people. F is amazing, like just amazing to be around. And I'm so angry that you both got subjected to such a thing. And I think it's very, very interesting, all of the dynamics that are happening there. Janie wanting to protect Hayden, a white man who's busy wanting to inflict violence on F because to him, she appears masculine. And so even though you're the one that smacked him in the mouth, he wants to fight a dude. So for him, F is the dude that he's going to go and fight. F is a fucking woman. She's a woman. So no, there's nobody that you can fight here. But he feels like that gives him an excuse to direct that energy towards F. And I think that Janie's behavior is just perfect. To me, it's so typical of white women, cis-het women, to be like, oh my God, no, I've got to go and protect my white man. He's moving mad and doing an absolute fuckery, but I need to go and protect him from the world, protect him from black women and protect him from the LGBTQ community. Oh my God, he can do whatever he likes. And then look, the most dangerous men are the ones that tell you, I'm a nice guy. What the fuck do you mean you're a nice guy? So that means that you know that other guys aren't nice, but you're not speaking out about the ways that they're behaving. You're leaving us to be subjected to their fuckeries. And, oh, we should all focus on the fact that you're a nice guy. No, go and deal with your bad guys then. If you're a nice guy, go and use your nice guy cape to go and deal with your bad guys. How about that? He's a fool, and Hayden is a little shit, and he will get what's coming to him in this life. I hope that karma gives him an itchy anus for the rest of his life. Fucking prick. I'm not surprised by Lottie and Leah, because when it's black women dealing with a white woman, sometimes I found that, yeah, black women and white women will all come together to go and support the white women because, you know, we've all got to protect their tears at all costs. And I'm pretty much just tired of it. I'm really, really tired of it. And if you're a white woman that's watching this, I ask you to consider when you get into conflicts, whether you are weaponizing your whiteness, your white femininity against other people to get your own way. Really, really consider it, because sometimes I don't think that you guys realize that you're doing it, but you need to start realizing that you are doing that, because it's nasty and it's vicious. And ignorance is not a victimless crime. So everyone being like, oh, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know the power dynamics that are going on here. You all know the power dynamics that are going on here. And even if you don't know the power dynamics that are at play and you can't give a name to them, you definitely know the impact that it's having, and you're choosing to ignore it. So all I can say to you, Layla and F, is that you should be glad. I've been in similar situations where I've had to let long-time friends go. It is so painful. It feels like a massive breakup. It's so heartbreaking, but you've done the best thing for you. And when you get rid of fuckeries, you allow space for new things, like your friendship with Alma to blossom. So you're not dealing with just dickhead people that weren't good for you anyway. And this was a terrible situation, but thank God that they got dropped off. Like the universe dropped them off here, because if they followed you further on into your destiny, into your future, and maybe another horrible situation happened, God forbid, that's bigger than this, what would we be dealing with then? You'd be even more traumatized. So thank God that he starts plucking, like, let God do the work of plucking fuckfrees, like useless people out of your life. Let God do the work. Sometimes we pray and we go, oh God, I just want my life to be more positive and peaceful. So God starts removing all of the people that make your life negative and not peaceful. And you're like, oh no, stay. No, go. Let them go. And I know this was painful for you both, but be glad that they're gone. Like, so your life has flourished, your skin is flourishing, your lives are flourishing ever since these dickheads have been removed. They didn't want to check on your mental health. That's fine. One day they will need you to come and help them. Don't be available. I don't care about, be the bigger person. No, be petty up in this bitch. Don't be available. Yeah? So that's it for this week. That's my letter that I wanted to share from Layla. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all patrons for supporting me. I know we're almost coming to the end. I've mentioned that the podcast, the live show, will be on the 1st of December. So as usual, you will get first dibs on the tickets when they are finally released. I appreciate you all so much. Have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you later. Peace.
It's the Benz Punani womanist, baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. If you sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hard times calling for your long throats. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.